Brawling for the best bargain. How stores here in the mid-state are preventing fights like this. In Nashville, businesses battling construction. How they hope to see a boom for Small Business Saturday.
We've got rain spilling in. Will it make for a sloppy weekend? I'll show you in your Skywatch 17 forecast. Fox 17 News starts right now.
Middle Tennessee's only primetime news. Fox 17 News at 9.
We start with breaking news. New information tonight. 3 people are dead, including a police officer, after a shooting at a Planned Parenthood facility in Colorado Springs. The suspected gunman is in custody tonight. The gunman went into the Planned Parenthood and opened fire. A standoff with police stretched over 5 hours. The surrounding area on lockdown. During that time, police didn't know his name and had difficulty making contact with him. They were worried he'd brought in explosive devices. Police say the suspect brought in the items in a bag and left something in front of the building.
The officers were able to shout to the suspect and make communication with him. And at that point, they were able to get him to surrender.
Police say 9 people are in local hospitals tonight. 5 of them are police officers. Photos and videos from our Fox 17 exclusive social media tool show police still sweeping the area. No word on the gunman's motive tonight. We'll continue to update you with any new developments on the story on air and online. New developments as protesters fill Chicago's shopping district to demand justice for a teenager. Hundreds of protesters shut down the shopping corridor on Black Friday. They're upset about the shooting death of Laquan McDonald, shot 16 times by police officer Jason Van Dyke last year. Dyke is charged with first-degree murder. Reverend Jesse Jackson is calling those who saw the tape and did nothing accomplices in McDonald's murder.
That's what we need, a full, impartial federal investigation so as to know who saw what, when, and why was the tape suppressed for 13 months.
The crowd also wants the lead prosecutor in the case, the mayor and police superintendent, to resign, and they're asking for a federal investigation of the Chicago Police Department. The police superintendent says he has no plans to resign and is working to fix the broken parts of his department. Caught on camera tonight, Black Friday brawls broke out in several parts of the country. It's a much different story than the calmer Black Friday we've seen so far here in the mid-state. Fox 17's Matt Alvarez is live in West Nashville with more on how local stores are keeping it a calmer shopping experience. Matt?
Well, that's right, Megan. So far, we haven't seen any reports or heard any reports of shoppers getting out of control in Middle Tennessee, but take a look at some video from around the country. We start in Michigan, where a number of shoppers fell down after they tried to get their hands on a veggie steamer. At one point in the mess, watch how a lady runs up to a kid and takes the steamer right out of the kid's hands, which made things even worse. In Kentucky, there was a brawl over one of the last pair of sneakers on sale. Several punches were thrown there before police got involved.
Here at Best Buy, we have rules that our employees follow and guidelines, so we kind of extend that out to our public just to make sure our employees and our customers are safe throughout their shopping experience.
When doors opened yesterday and this morning, shoppers calmly walked in to go find the deals. That's because some stores like Best Buy have a system in place and police on the scene to keep things from getting out of hand.
And they can pre-populate a list before they come in and set it up for an easy pickup, or they can come in and set up like a wish list station where we can already have their itemized list ready, and they can come in and just speak to a customer service representative who can take care of it. MacBooks, okay, I can most definitely show you where those are.
Kristen Patrick and her family don't usually venture out on Black Friday because they like to avoid the holiday rush, but this time...
I usually stay home and do online shopping to avoid all the crowds, but there was something my husband wanted to get today that we couldn't wait to get shipped, so...
This is the 8 gig, the 128 gig hard drive.
Martell Claiborne, the assistant manager at Best Buy, says it's all about having a seamless transition from outside the store to inside.
We care about the general safety of our clients that shop with us, so during these heavy traffic times, we just want to make sure our public safety officers, our law enforcement officers are there just to monitor the front of the store.
And Best Buy will remain open until 10 p.m. tonight. Reporting live, Matt Alvarez, Fox 17 News.
You look awfully comfortable there, Matt. Right now, undercover officers bust shoplifters in Mount Juliet on Black Friday. Police say the pair walked in with a large empty handbag with a plastic bag inside. Officers say they filled it with clothes, perfume, and jewelry worth nearly $500. Police stopped the two as they tried to drive away and found a JCPenney's bag full of stolen clothes. Looking ahead, local businesses hope for some green as their shoppers try to get around construction. At 9:15, we'll be live with why one shopping complex in Nashville says Small Business Saturday is very important for their bottom line. Many of you are already planning to score deals on Cyber Monday. Walmart has an Xbox on sale for $299, and it comes wired with the Gears of War game. Target is offering 15% off everything it sells online with discounts on big items like 4K HD TV sets. And Best Buy has deals on top brand 4K HD TVs that will save you anywhere from $500 to $900 off the original price.
No complaints there as we check out our overnight headlines. Clouds, they are here to stay. They're not going anywhere anytime soon. As we also look, in our northwestern zones, we do have a risk for some rain, and that will be spilling in during the overnight. Lows are going to be anywhere from about 15 to 20 degrees above average. As you look at your Skywatch Live Doppler this evening, no showers in our vicinity just yet, but as you look a little farther off to the west here, we are looking at some showers here that will be building in from our west zones, and you can see some showers already getting ready to cross over the Mississippi River. They're not moving very fast, so don't expect them to be here anytime soon. Temperatures across the mid-states, southern zones in the mid-60s already. Eastern zones a teeny tiny bit cooler in the upper 50s to low 60s, and the same thing for Paris. So most of us overnight, here's a look at how those lows will play out. We're looking at everyone to basically be in the mid-50s. The clouds are not going to allow those temperatures to cool off too much overnight. So we're looking at 57 in Nashville, 56 in Lebanon, 55 in Cook. We'll have a look at the rest of that forecast and see how the weekend will play out in about 10 minutes.
New details tonight as plans for a new federal courthouse in Nashville hit a snag. The Tennessean reports it's unclear if Congress will approve the $181 million project. It comes under a deadline. The House and Senate have to agree by December 11th on a federal budget to avoid a government shutdown. Music City has been waiting for federal funding for a new courthouse since 1992. A new proposal tonight could make it illegal for Tennessee drivers to cruise in the passing lane. The slowpoke law would make it illegal for anyone to drive in the passing lane on a highway unless the driver is actually passing. Representative Dan Howell, who's proposing the bill, says it would cut down on congestion and road rage. Lawmakers will take up the bill in January. State lawmakers will consider another new proposal in January that will affect drivers. The bill would require any Tennessee driver older than 76 to pass a vision test before renewing their driver's license. Right now, state law requires people to renew their license every 5 years. Right now, holiday travelers are fearful as they deal with tight security. Airline passengers who boarded early complained about long lines. Some passengers say despite all the safety measures, they did put their best to put terrorism out of their minds.
To be honest, we live in London, so it's always a threat. So I didn't think about it.
It crossed my mind when we were standing in Penn Station seeing all the security, but it's okay.
Travelers say seeing extra police at train stations and bus terminals brought them comfort. New details tonight as French police monitor airport and rail workers with ties to radical Islam. Police are investigating 86,000 airport workers for ties to radicalization. New developments in France as thousands honor the 130 lives lost in the Paris terror attacks. France's president vows to defeat ISIS, the Islamic militant group behind the attacks. He's meeting with world leaders to try to rally support for a military campaign against ISIS strongholds in Iraq and Syria. France will continue airstrikes even after a Turkish military jet shot down a Russian warplane earlier this week. Here in the U.S., Congress continues to fight over the relocation of Syrian refugees. A bill calling for stricter screenings heads to the Senate next week. New information about a Connecticut man draped in an American flag who scaled the White House fence. Court documents show 22-year-old Joseph Caputo left a suicide note with friends and a will with his mother, telling her she may never see him again. Caputo has been ordered to undergo a psychiatric evaluation. The White House had to go on lockdown until Secret Service agents cleared the threat while the first family had Thanksgiving inside. New details tonight as a Florida teen last seen in Franklin Saturday has been found safe. A Franklin man on a layover on an Atlanta bus station recognized the teenager. 16-year-old Andrew Slingsby boarded a bus that took him to Huntsville. He ran away from the Walmart on Mallory Lane. They say his family stopped there on a road trip.
Veterans sacrificed for our country, now they're homeless. Volunteers spent 48 hours straight trying to shed light on the problem.
We know rain is spilling in for the weekend, but what does that mean for the Titans game? I'll show you in your Skywatch 17 forecast.
Black Friday fizzles. Why it's so important now for shops to see a boom on Small Business Saturday. You're watching Fox 17 News at 9.
Right now, local business owners are getting ready for their version of Black Friday. It begins tomorrow. Fox 17's Sky Arnold joins us live in North Nashville with why Small Business Saturday is more important than usual for one local shopping center. Sky?
Well, Megan, if you haven't visited Marathon Village here, any of the shops inside, you're not alone. All that construction we've all seen over here on I-40 has really made it tough to get here, and that's one reason why Small Business Saturday is so important for these shops inside.
Thank you very much. Some days, like I said, I couldn't even get to work myself, and I live here, and I know the back way. 3059.
Making sales is hard enough for a small business. But lately, Marathon Village shops have faced troubles simply getting customers here.
It's presented some challenges for sure.
Deluxe homeowner Larry Wilkes is talking about the frequent weekend I-40 bridge construction. That's not only made it hard for customers to navigate here, it's often made it tough to get out of the car.
I'm sure people just drove over, they made it this far, and then turned around and left because there was no place to park.
Down the hall at Lorraine Francis.
Did you have a nice Thanksgiving?
The business losses have been equally noticeable.
I've kept the owner from tearing her hair out. Let's just say that.
Manager Kristen Pack is just thankful the drivers of tourist buses have continued to bring customers here during construction.
And it's been very frustrating, but, you know, we're going to make it through.
That's why this shopping season is extra important.
We're having 20% off in the store.
It's a chance for new customers like Wendy Hart to spend their money.
The shops are very eclectic.
Now that the path to Marathon Village is easier to see.
A shop local for people to come visit us would be terrific because, you know, all the other neighborhoods are getting all that business and we've missed it.
Now, the bridge construction project we just mentioned, it's called Fast Fix 8, and you may remember it involves TDOT fixing a total of 8 bridges, including the one behind me. All of them are important for customers who want to come here to Marathon Village. That's where we're live. Sky Arnold, Fox 17 News.
We begin tonight with a live look here from Cheekwood, where they've got their Christmas lights on display. Beautiful here. We saw it a little earlier at the 5:30 newscast, but you can see it here now. So if you've never been, you got to go. The place is amazing. Aside from the fact of the lights, it's just a really cool place to be and see what they have. But really kind of nice out there, and the weather pretty good too this evening as well. Let's switch gears, and you'll notice we do have some rain headed our way. But right now, it's in the far western stretches of the state here in eastern Arkansas, southeast Missouri, and we're talking western Tennessee. This is part of a cold front that's headed our way, but it has no real kind of oomph to move forward. So we're just going to kind of slowly see this edge eastward here overnight. So some of our western zones might see some light showers as we begin our Saturday. And we're talking mainly around Trigg and Todd and Stewart, Houston, Humphreys counties, you guys, even over toward Wayne County as well. So here's Future Track. We'll track when the rain decides to actually walk eastward. This is at 10 o'clock tonight. You know, Future Track has it a little ahead of the schedule here. I believe that by midnight is when we might start to see those showers start to enter our western zones. But notice it has a tough time trying to actually move eastward. That's because the front has no real desire to walk eastward. So as we begin at 6 o'clock in the morning, some spotty showers out to our northwest. As we look ahead to Saturday here at lunchtime, northern parts might see a few light showers here. We're not expecting anything big across the mid-state. Then heading toward about 4 o'clock, we'll still see some spotty showers across the area, and that does continue Saturday night into our Sunday. In fact, I believe the bigger chance of rain will be Saturday night into Sunday. So how much rainfall are we talking? On average, most of us picking up at least around a ½ inch to maybe some spots, maybe up to an inch, and isolated spots out to the west, maybe an inch and a half. So it's not going to bring us any flooding rains, but a good dosing coming our way. So here's how the forecast plays out for us for our Saturday. We'll start off at 57. That's almost 20 degrees above average for this time of year. In fact, it's 21. The average low is 36. So we're going to start off pretty mild. And just to put that into perspective, this is actually higher than our average high. Our average high is 55 now. So we'll be at 63 at 10, 65 here at lunchtime, hover around that through 3 o'clock, and then cool it off to 63 there by 6. Hey, another good shot at rain for our Sunday. What does that mean for the Titans game if you're going? I believe by kickoff around noon, we'll still see a few light showers around, so bring the umbrella, but I believe, at least from what I'm seeing at this point in time, that it should end a little bit after kickoff. So the rest of the day, we're just looking at mostly cloudy skies. So at kickoff, we're looking at 58 and then 60 at 1:30 around halftime, and the same at last snap. Then we see that rain kind of ramp up again Sunday evening into Monday, and then most of Monday quiet, Monday evening into Tuesday, another shot at rain as another system moves through. So lots of clouds, lots of rain coming our way. Highs will come down, falling into the upper 40s and low 50s by Wednesday and Thursday. Megan.
Tempted by all the turkey fixins and desserts? We have advice on how to stay trim for the holidays.
You are entrusting them with the life of your child.
Plus bravery while battling breast cancer, how this 8-year-old girl stays strong fighting the disease. And spending 48 hours spreading an important message, how they're helping our mid-state veterans without a home. Right now, dozens of pets are spending their first night with their new families, thanks to some unusual Black Friday deals. The Nashville Humane Association says black dogs stay in shelters longer, watching as their lighter-colored friends get picked up by loving families. That's why the association celebrated Black Friday by dropping the fees for all black dogs and cats to just $45.
It's just great to raise awareness and to help animals get their forever homes.
Metro Animal Care and Control waived adoption fees completely today. Both shelters will keep their Black Friday deals going strong tomorrow. New details tonight as advocates push to create a school voucher program in the next legislative session. The scholarship program lets parents move their child from a failing public school to a private school on the taxpayer's dime. Critics say money for vouchers should be used to improve public schools, but supporters say the program gives students access to quality education. In consumer news, experts say educational toys will be a hot commodity this holiday season, especially ones that focus on science, technology, engineering, and math. One toy expert predicts that one of the most popular will be an engineering toy by Thames and Cosmos, where kids can build miniature airplanes and helicopters. Experts say it's important to consider your child's interests when buying an educational toy. A toy company having trouble keeping its customers' information safe. The toy maker VTech says a hacker stole information from nearly 500,000 customers, as well as 200,000 customers' children, whose data is also in VTech's database. Breached info includes names, emails, passwords, and home addresses. VTech says it has already fixed the problem and has provided support for customers. A health alert tonight, as many of you, all of us probably, overindulging with the delicious food for Thanksgiving. It's hard to maintain a healthy weight when temptation is everywhere. Experts say the average person gains about 2 to 5 pounds over the holiday season.
Just work extra hard in January.
I figured 20, 30, 40 minutes today at the gym, I can have that extra scoop of gravy or extra slice of turkey.
Or mashed potatoes or pie.
Yeah, exactly.
A little cardio, little weights, some stretching.
Experts say cardio is the best way to burn calories. Resistance and circuit training should also be on your list at the gym. Health experts say make time to exercise because most of us never lose the extra weight. And of course, pounds add up year after year. New tonight, an 8-year-old girl in Utah is battling an extremely rare form of breast cancer. Earlier this week, her family met with doctors in Salt Lake City to plan her treatments. The young girl also decided to take part in a study to help other people fighting rare forms of cancer, but her mom says the whole process is scary.
It's still scary, when you send your child into the hands of a surgeon and you have to leave them in that room and walk away, it's terror. It doesn't matter, you are entrusting them with the life of your child.
The 8-year-old is scheduled to have a mastectomy and her lymph nodes removed early next month.
We are the last people that is going to ask for help because we're not trained that way.
Veterans choosing to sleep outside to improve other military lives. Plus, conflicting stories as Donald Trump refuses to apologize to a reporter with a disability.
Through a Tinder blind date of all things, it was a connection, but it was a connection about hope and about saving a life.
Wow, this is incredible. Tonight on Fox 17 News at 10, how a match on Tinder helped save a woman's life. Right now, some veterans are choosing to live outside to help other veterans who are homeless. Fox 17's Michaela Lewis joins us now with details on the Rutherford County event. Michaela.
Meagan, the Rutherford County Veterans Service estimates nearly 300,000 homeless veterans nationwide. Right now, the community is helping the local 200 military families in need this Thanksgiving. Mark Jolly's home Friday night.
So this here is how we're roughing it.
Isn't as sweet as his real home with his wife and kids.
Why do you like to be out here on the holiday weekend?
It's always good to give back. We could be out with our families.
But the Retired Marines group, the U.S. Vets Military Motorcycle Club, is focusing on their other family. It's the second annual Homeless Veterans Awareness event. Volunteers are collecting items for Rutherford County military families in need for 48 hours outside of Murfreesboro's H3O Aquatics.
It stands for Health, Healing, and Hope Outreach. We'd like to partner with other veteran organizations in the community to provide that outreach.
We are the last people that is going to ask for help because we're not trained that way. We're trained to improvise, overcome, and adapt.
But many aren't adapting back into society, especially younger soldiers.
They don't consider themselves as veterans.
They've done 6, 7, 8 tours in Afghanistan, and they come back and they feel like outsiders. This is really a problem. They're in worse shape than your average, say, homeless person.
According to the local Veterans Service, veterans make up 18% of the homeless population nationwide.
A great turnout of people to support the homeless veterans, people that have laid their life on the line, and it's not a one-time deal.
The event accepts anything that the Salvation Army would accept for donations. Any items not used immediately will be converted into gift cards for local veterans,
where they can contribute to society.
We're not looking to give them a handout.
We're trying to give them a hand up.
We're all human race, and it's about time we give back to each other. Thank you.
The Homeless Veterans Awareness event ends tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. Chick-fil-A and, of course, the Salvation Army of Murfreesboro are also sponsors. For more information on how to help, visit our website at fox17.com. Michaela Lewis, Fox 17 News.
And looking ahead, it will be a very happy holiday season to come for Mid-State families next week. Fort Campbell soldiers with the 101st Airborne Division are set to return home from overseas deployment. Welcoming home ceremonies are planned for next Thursday and Friday.
All right, let's start off with the satellite and the radar. You can see those clouds really thick across the mid-state and a few light sprinkles spreading across the mid-state. A slightly wider view shows you that the heavier rain is still far off to our west, but it will creep in overnight. So we do have a risk for a few showers, a few sprinkles here, mainly west of Interstate 65 and north of 40 here as we head into the evening. Now, because of the clouds around and a wind out of the south, but very light, temperature's not going to fall much. So looking at around a low of 57. Let's kind of move further down the line here to tomorrow. Those of you may be traveling eastward to Knoxville for the Vandy, Tennessee game here. We're looking at kickoff. If you're paying attention to Central Time, 3 o'clock. Eastern Time will be 4 o'clock. We are looking at partly to rather mostly cloudy skies. No showers, though, for the game. It should be pretty quiet for those of you who will be headed that way. Temperatures, though, will be around 64 and should stay in the mid-60s throughout the game. So really good football weather here. We do have that rain coming our way, and it's not a 1-2 day thing. It's going to be here for several days, unfortunately. We'll look at when we can expect better weather to return in that next Skywatch 17 forecast. Megan.
New information tonight as Republican presidential frontrunner Donald Trump claims he couldn't have been making fun of a reporter's disability because he doesn't know the man. He told the New York Times he's met Trump repeatedly and the two have been on a first-name basis for years. The reporter has a congenital condition that restricts joint movement. Earlier this week, Trump flailed his arms to imitate the reporter's mannerisms.
Written by a nice reporter. Now the poor guy, you got to see this guy. Oh, I don't know what I said. I don't remember. He's going like, I don't remember. Oh, maybe that's what I said. This is 14 years ago. They didn't do a retraction.
Trump accused the reporter of backing off a story that Muslims were seen celebrating after the 9/11 attacks. Republican presidential candidate Ben Carson is in the Middle East meeting with Syrian refugees. Carson is handing out toys to kids at a UN-run refugee camp. Carson says he wants to better understand the refugee crisis. It comes as the retired brain surgeon faces criticism on his knowledge of foreign policy. A mid-state city divided. Why Dixon leaders voted to kill geese in a neighborhood lake. And finding deals without having to face the crowds. What you need to know before you start online shopping for Cyber Monday.
Take Fox 17 News with you by signing up for text alerts. Just text news, weather, traffic, or sports to 45203. Get alerts for as many categories as you want. It's Fox 17 News on the go. Brought to you by Nissan of Cool Springs.
In consumer news, online Thanksgiving sales are up. Customers spent more than $1 billion. That's up 22% from last year. Experts say more than a quarter of those sales came from mobile devices. Several stores open on Thanksgiving Day for shoppers as well, including Target, Walmart, Macy's, Best Buy, and Kohl's. Cyber Monday is only a few days away, and it's expected to bring in more sales than Thanksgiving or Black Friday. Adobe's system predicts Cyber Monday will bring in about $3 billion in sales. Some of the big stores offering deals are Target, Walmart, JCPenney's, and Amazon. Check their websites. Many stores are starting Cyber Monday sales tomorrow morning. Right now, the Christmas tree lights are on at the Country Music Hall of Fame. A famous face celebrated with a festive song. Country music singer Tanya Tucker helped light the 30-foot Christmas tree and kicked off the Hall of Fame's month of music at the museum. That was Tanya Tucker. The museum will celebrate the holidays with special events throughout the month, like special holiday performances every Thursday. A Canadian mining company found the biggest diamond known to man. Miners found it in Botswana. The rock is so enormous, experts are having difficulty even putting a value on it. It's too big for computer analysis. Analysts assume the 1,100 plus carat could be worth about $66 million. A mid-state community upset. We go to Dixon to find out why city leaders want to euthanize geese.
And the clouds are going to keep temperatures a little bit mild overnight, but with the clouds and the showers tomorrow, how will those temperatures fare? I'll show you in your next Skywatch 17 forecast.
And it's state semifinal time. 9 mid-state schools, including Pearl Cone, looking to book spots in the championship games. The Fox 17 Sports crew has all the action next.
You know, I'll be a little hurt from, killing innocent animals.
Right now, a city split after voting to euthanize geese. It's happening at Luther Lake in Dixon. Fox 17's Kai Beach has more.
The Dixon City Council's decision to euthanize geese at Luther Lake is ruffling some feathers.
I didn't know that they were planning on killing them.
Kevin Morrissey walks his daughter around this lake a couple times a week, and he doesn't agree with what's going to take place here.
I'm going to have to tell my daughter where'd all the geese go, and, I'm not going to lie to her. I kind of got to tell her the truth, and it's going to hurt her too. And
biologists have determined there's an excessive amount of geese overpopulating this small lake. There's now concerns about animal waste affecting public health and water quality. Even so, many visitors say there has to be an alternative solution other than putting animals down. But homeowners in this area have a much different view.
It's not that we are opposed or would like to see every goose killed, but it's the pollution.
This woman, who did not want to go on camera, has lived on Luther Lake for 54 years. She says the animal waste here is getting out of control.
I'm talking about goose waste, goose feces, all across the street. You can't walk in the street without watching every step you take.
She says most homeowners here initially enjoyed the geese, just not the waste they left behind. She added it's not their decision to euthanize them. Instead, they presented their problem to the city, who turned it over to the United States Department of Agriculture. In Dixon, Kai Beach, Fox 17 News.
The city says the USDA is scheduled to start this process in May.
We begin with a look at our headlines tonight, and the clouds are settling in as we turn our attention to more of a rainy pattern. And this will continue not only for our Saturday, but all the way in through Tuesday, not getting better until we get into Wednesday. And that will feature cooler air moving into the mid-state, more typical with what we get for this time of year. As for the temperatures right now, they're still well above the average, which the average high is now around 55, and we are in the 60s on average, low 60s, 59 in Cookeville, 61 in Tompkinsville, 62 in Lebanon, 63 in Murfreesboro as well as Nashville, while 63 in Lawrenceburg and 63 in Linden. Let's track the numbers through the overnight into your Saturday, and you'll notice from 10 o'clock tonight, which the numbers are pretty spot on here with Future Track through the overnight hours, you'll notice just not a lot of change here as we head into 6 o'clock in the morning. I believe most of us, though, should fall off into at least the upper 50s. Now, as we head up to about lunchtime, we'll all top out really in the low mid 60s. Southern zones, maybe a teeny tiny bit warmer, waiting for those showers to get in here and cool things off. But mid 60s on average will be the rule for the average highs for tomorrow. You will notice a little cooler for our northwestern zones. That's from the showers spreading in a little sooner. And then into our Saturday evening, still most of us are in the low 60s, except the northwestern zone, seeing those showers falling off into the 50s. So for tonight, I believe here in Nashville, we should drop down to about 57 with those cloudy skies and a few sprinkles possible. Better chances in western areas of the mid-state and southern Kentucky. Our afternoon high tomorrow, 65 cloudy with showers spilling in. Now here's a look at that Skywatch 7-day. Again, Sunday, an important day for the Titans game here. We're looking at an 80% chance of rain here. Now that will occur, I believe, late tomorrow into our early Saturday. So a kickoff around noon here. I believe you'll have a few light showers around, but most of it should be coming to an end, at least from what I'm seeing right now. Temperatures will be in the upper 50s, and then we should see a lull. So mainly just cloudy skies here at halftime with a temperature of 60. And then as we look at 3 o'clock, we're looking at 60 degrees there. Then Sunday evening into Monday, the next wave of showers will build in across the mid-state and southern Kentucky, and that will give us a good chance there with a high of 63 on our Monday. Most of Monday, then again, also a little bit on the quiet side, but then Monday evening into Tuesday, that next wave will roll through, giving us another shot of some downpours here and there. The high on Tuesday about 58. Once that system passes by, we get into a northwest wind, bringing in the cooler air. Lows fall off into the 30s for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and highs fall off into the upper 40s and lower 50s.
What a night. The state semifinals in the high school football playoffs. Let's start out east with Class 6A. Oakland against mighty Maryville. The Rebels' last loss coming in the 2012 championship game. And so much for an upset tonight. The Patriots' great season coming to an end, unfortunately. George Quarles and company getting the 27-13 victory. I'll have highlights of this game coming up on Fox 17 News at 10. As for who the Maryville Rebels will play in the state championship game, we send it over to Dave Foster.
Well, the Ravenwood Raptors trying to move to the state title game in Class 6A, but facing a team that's no stranger to playing for state championships. Whitehaven, this was a close one for the Raptors and head coach Will Hester. Ravenwood up 3-0 first quarter, 4th and goal, but the Raptors defense comes up with the goal line stand against the Tigers. Now to the second quarter, after a Whitehaven touchdown that made it 6-3, 4th and 10, quarterback Darian Cole scrambling, tossing across the field to Kylan Watkins, and Watkins has some moves. He takes it all the way into the end zone on 4th and 10. Whitehaven would tack on an extra point and lead at 13-3. The Raptors needing to make something happen, and they do. On the ensuing kickoff, Chris Rowland has it, and he's got a seam. Rowland breaking it into the clear and taking it all the way back for the touchdown. Ravenwood using that play for momentum going into the half and coming back to win, headed back to the state title game. The Raptors take it 20-13. Now, taking a look at the Class 6A bracket, Maryville and Ravenwood, the last two teams standing. They will meet for the title on December 5th, a rematch of last year's finals, which Maryville won 35-34. Paul.
Thank you, Dave. Centennial at Independence in one of the 5A semis. The visiting Cougars trailing in the first quarter until Tristan Pisacani connects with Rashawn McLemore for a 35-yard touchdown strike. Centennial taking the lead 9-6. Independence with one of the most powerful offenses in the state, though. Andrew Bunch finding Nate Johnson for the short TD toss. We saw a bunch of Bunch to Johnson this evening. Second quarter, another example. The Bunch pump fake does the job. Cougars falling for it, and Johnson's open deep downfield. The Eagles leading 35-9 at intermission. They're heading to their 14th straight win, leading Centennial 49-15 in the fourth quarter. The Eagles will play, assuming they go on and win, and it looks like they will play Sevier County in the championship game. The Smoky Bears sending Ray County into hibernation with a 42-28 win in the other 5A semifinal. The Pearl Cone Firebirds looking to advance to the Class 4A title game for the first time since 1997. Maurice Fitzgerald was their head coach then. He's on hand to see how they did against Memphis East. The answer? Very well. First quarter, they give to Kewan Vaughn, number 6 heading towards 6. Vaughn with a sweet touchdown run. Firebirds on the board first, 6-0. Then their special teams making a play on the punt. Tedrick McGee fielding for the Mustangs. Justin Brewington stripping the football for the Firebirds. Nanoxie Hancock recovering. And you think Brewington's pumped? Yes, he is. That leading to this. Kewan Vaughn doing the honors again. Shorter scoring run this time. 14-zip Firebirds at that point, and they weren't done in the opening quarter. Jimmy Farrell to the air finds Rontavius Groves open in the end zone. Firebirds led 27-0 after one and go on to beat Memphis East tonight 27-14. Class 4A bracket shakes out this way. Knoxville Catholic ending Marshall County season 54-35. So it comes down to the Fighting Irish and the Firebirds for all the marbles. Dan Phillips joining the show now. He's at CPA for one of the 3A semifinals. Dan, no easy task for Ingle Martin and the Lions tonight, right?
No, not at all. But, you know, playing after the day after Thanksgiving is nothing new for CPA. In fact, this is the 5th straight season the Lions have roared into the Final Four. The only thing standing in their way between a return trip to Cookeville for the defending champs, undefeated Liberty Magnet. Tied at 7 in the first quarter. Eagles... That's the wrong highlights. How about CPA took a 7-0 lead? Wallace Bennett is going to field this punt, and he's going to head to the sideline, and that is a good idea because CPA set up the old picket fence. Barrett breaks a tackle, cuts back, and he is gone. 64 yards, makes it 14-0 Lions at the half. CPA D steps up in the third quarter. The Tech running back is running for his life. And this prayer goes unanswered unless you're a Lions fan. Jacob Webster with a pick. He takes it back inside the 20. 2 plays later, Chip Omer is going to ice it. He goes 16 yards to the house to make it 21-0 Lions. And that'll do it. CPA's heading back to Cookeville for the 3rd straight year. The Lions win it 21-0. And joining me now is a very happy and satisfied Coach Ingle Martin. Coach, congratulations.
Appreciate it very much.
You know, the offense gets all the headlines, and rightfully so. They scored 21 points tonight, but I thought the defense was really the difference in this one.
Yeah, anytime you can create 4 turnovers, I think you've got a great chance to win. And Ryan Taylor, our defensive coordinator, and our defensive staff did a terrific job. And our kids played really hard tonight, and we're proud of them for that.
Next up, a team you know very well, especially in this particular game, Alcoa. You're going to face them for the 3rd straight year. What are your thoughts?
It'll be a Gary Rankin team, which anybody who knows anything about high school football, they'll be ready to play. They'll play extremely physical, and we look to match their effort, match their intensity, and be excited to be back in Cookeville.
Good luck next week.
Thank you very much.
CPA wins it. 21-0 is the final. They're going to go for their 2nd straight championship against Alcoa, a team they beat to win the championship last year, 7-0. Live in Davidson County, Dan Phillips, Fox 17 Sports.
Thank you, Dan. One more stop in Bellevue as Peabody visits Nashville Christian in the single A semis, tied at 7 in the first quarter. Blake Barfield going in for the touchdown for NCS. They're on top 14-7. Then next possession, NCS back at it. Daniel Batuli, he's headed to Knoxville next season, and you can see why the Vols are so excited about him. A 45-yard touchdown run for Daniel Batuli. It's 21-7 Eagles at that point. And then how about a little more offense? Kyle Tidwell faking the handoff, rolling and finding guess who? Batuli, who falls into the end zone. 35-7 NCS at that point. The Eagles go on to get the victory tonight, 42-7. So it's a first ever trip to the finals for the Eagles. They'll face Greenback on December 4th. The Cherokees edging Columbia Academy tonight, 21-14. Time for a TO. In 2 minutes, a preview of the Vanderbilt-Tennessee game, plus the Predators skating in the city of brotherly love as they wrap up their 5-game road trip.
And tonight on Fox 17 News at 10, Tinder helps a woman find a match, but it's not what you think. How swiping right saved a woman's life.
Back with hockey, a matinee for the Nashville Predators as they close out their 5-game road trip in Philadelphia against the Flyers. Philip Forsberg getting the Preds on the board first, taking the feed and lighting the lamp in the first period. It's 1-0 Nashville. Move ahead to late in the third. The Preds trailing 2-1. They pull Pekka for the extra skater, and it pays off. Under 30 seconds to go, Mike Fisher poking the puck into the Flyers net. That ties the game at 2 with only 20 seconds left. In overtime, the Preds are whistled for too many men on the ice. That gives the Flyers a 4-3 advantage. Shane Gostisbehere fires it past Rene, and that's it. The Flyers handing the Preds a disappointing 3-2 loss in overtime. Tomorrow, a rivalry renewed as Vanderbilt travels to Tennessee. The Commodores in search of their 5th win of the season. Vols looking for their 8th, but expecting a fight from the black and gold.
We know it's a one-game season. We know that we have to come ready to play, or Vanderbilt can come out and give us a shot and beat us. So we have to be ready to go, be ready to play, and be disciplined in our preparation this week.
It should be a great game going out there. They got a lot of good athletes on their team, quarterbacks, offensive line, running backs. So I think everybody's going to like the results on Saturday.
Kickoff at Neyland Stadium set for 3 o'clock. We'll have post-game reaction from both teams tomorrow night after the Notre Dame-Stanford game on Fox 17. And some college basketball scores. The Tennessee men are trailing George Washington in the second half. Robert Morris falling to Tennessee Tech by 13. Women's action, the Lady Vols with an 8-point victory over Albany. Austin Peay losing to Vanderbilt 73-56. And Middle Tennessee losing at Alabama 64-46.
You're watching Fox 17 News at 10.
Caught on camera, Black Friday shoppers brawl over a veggie steamer. The steps to make the experience smooth right here in the Mid-State.
I feel like I have a front row seat to such just an amazing miracle.
Wow, plus swiping right for a miracle. How a match on Tinder helped save a woman's life.
And you're going to need an umbrella for your Saturday. I'm tracking rain spreading into the Mid-State. I'll show you when exactly it moves in your Skywatch 17 forecast.
And American values or national security? The question many are asking after the Paris terror attacks. Caught on camera tonight, Black Friday brawls broke out in several parts of the country. It's a much different story than the calmer Black Friday we've had here in the Mid-State. Fox 17's Matt Alvarez is live in West Nashville with how local stores are keeping to a calmer shopping experience. Matt?
Well, Megan, calmer is the exact word to use because, these are the last few customers here. It's 10 o'clock. Best Buy is closing down. Everybody just purchased their, Black Friday purchases and Christmas gifts. And what I can tell you is that in Nashville, we haven't seen any reports of shoppers getting out of control. But check out some video from Michigan. A number of shoppers fell down after they tried to get their hands on a veggie steamer. At one point in the mess, watch how a lady runs up to a kid and takes the steamer right out of the grasp of their hands, which made things even worse. And in Kentucky, there was a brawl over one of the last pair of sneakers on sale. Several punches were thrown there before police got involved. At Best Buy here on Charlotte Pike, they have a police officer stationed outside, and when the doors opened yesterday and this morning, management had a plan in place, all to avoid a stampede scenario.
They can pre-populate a list before they come in and set it up for an easy pickup, or they can come in and set up like a wish list station where we can already have their itemized list ready, and they can come in and just speak to a customer service representative who can take care of it.
And if you didn't get your Best Buy shopping in yesterday or today, tomorrow at 8 a.m., that's when it opens back up. Reporting live, Matt Alvarez, Fox 17 News.
Black Friday is drawing crowds, but not nearly as large as in years past. Shoppers lined up to get into Bass Pro Shops before dawn, but retailers say overall Black Friday is off to a very slow start. The hot items are apparel, smokers, and drones. The remote-controlled drones sold out in a matter of hours. A store manager says he expects sales to pick up over the holiday shopping season.
Early was really good. That Black Friday go out and get the deal crowd was strong, and then it's gotten soft. Briley Parkway's just starting to get slow, and it's usually like that a little earlier, so I don't know what that's attributed to.
Bass Pro says their sales are largely impacted by the weather. When it's cold or raining outside, customers put off those outdoor activities and head to the mall. New tonight, 4 Virginia men are in jail after they tried to use 241 stolen credit cards to buy $19,000 worth of iPhone merchandise. Apple Store employees noticed the customers' odd behavior and called police. The mall had extra security for holiday shoppers, and police quickly caught the suspects. They all now face several charges and are currently awaiting bail. Right now, many local business owners are getting ready for Small Business Saturday. Fox 17's Sky Arnold joins us live in North Nashville with why the annual shopping tradition couldn't come at a more important time for one shopping destination. Sky?
Well, Megan, that shopping destination is right beside me, Marathon Village. If you've ever been here, you know it's right by I-40, and it's a location where if you've driven lately, you've had to have noticed a lot of construction over there on those bridges. It's made it hard to get here to Marathon Village. Well, as you'd imagine, that's impacted some of the shops in this location, including jewelry and clothing boutique Lorraine Francis. Manager Kristen Pack tells me all that bridge construction had a major impact on business because some customers simply couldn't get here or couldn't find a place to park once they did. She's hoping Small Business Saturday is the beginning of a shopping season that makes up for the loss.
But our regulars who are locals had a hard time finding parking, and it was trying, but I hope we're at the end of it now, and that we can really, make this weekend and the upcoming weekends before the holiday really count.
Now, that bridge work is all part of the Fast Fix 8 project. As you may remember, that's involved TDOT basically fixing 8 bridges on the western part of downtown, and they have, of course, had to close some of the interstates down here on the weekends. We're live in downtown Nashville. Sky Arnold, Fox 17 News.
We are pretty quiet this evening, but as you look at your Skywatch Live Doppler, you don't have to move very far to see where the rain is tonight. It's mainly along the Mississippi River, just outside of the viewing area here on the other side of the Tennessee River. This will edge eastward as we head into tonight and tomorrow, so rain is on the way. Where we're getting a couple of light sprinkles and have had them, temperatures have cooled off just a teeny tiny bit more than everyone else. We've got low 60s and upper 50s for our friends in the northwestern zones. Most of us, though, are around 63 degrees here, so that's what we have in Nashville and Lebanon and Murfreesboro and McMinnville. Temperatures are going to have a tough time cooling off overnight because of the clouds around and a south wind. Most of us will fall off on average into the mid-50s, except for the higher terrain, just a tiny bit cooler here. Now, as we look ahead to tomorrow, it'll actually be still pretty warm for this time of year, but there are some cooler changes coming our way, and I'll show you when that cooler air moves in and how long it sticks around in that next Skywatch 17 forecast. Megan.
Right now, several veteran groups are living in tents to help homeless military families. It's the second annual Homeless Veteran Awareness event. The U.S. Military Vets Motorcycle Club is teaming up with Chick-fil-A and the Salvation Army of Murfreesboro collecting items. Volunteers are in the H3O Aquatics parking lot for 48 hours to help nearly 200 homeless veterans in Rutherford County.
We're trained to improvise, overcome, and adapt. And by the time we do ask for help, a lot of these veterans, they're over the edge. So it's up to us.
The event started yesterday and will run through tomorrow night. For more information on how you can help, visit fox17.com. Trending now, a Florida woman who desperately needed a kidney finds a match on Tinder. Erica Meagan left the hospital after surgery just in time to celebrate Thanksgiving with her family. She suffers from polycystic kidney disease. She found her kidney match thanks to her friend swiping right on Tinder. For Meagan, she says it's a miracle that's turned into a special friendship.
I hope that they'll keep me because I love everyone that I've gotten to meet through this whole experience. It's really changed my life.
Through a Tinder blind date of all things, it was a connection, but it was a connection about hope and about saving a life.
That's incredible. Now together, they want to continue helping other people who suffer from the same disease, help them find matches. New information tonight as police sweep the area for possible explosive devices after a shooting at a Planned Parenthood in Colorado Springs. 3 people, including 6-year police veteran Garrett Swayze, died in the shooting. 9 people are in the hospital. The suspected gunman is in custody after a 5-hour standoff with police. No word on the suspect's motive, but police say he did bring in several bags they were worried had possible explosive devices. New Orleans police know now who one of the suspects is who opened fire on a playground. Joseph Mo Allen is wanted on 17 counts of attempted first-degree murder. Police believe Allen is one of 2 groups of gunmen who shot at each other Sunday at the playground. Several hundred people were at the playground at the time. 17 people were hurt. American values versus national security. Which is more important? That's the question many are asking after the Paris attacks and renewed threats from terror groups like ISIS. National correspondent Christine Frizzell takes a look at America's history during times of fear and uncertainty.
Very simply, we can't take them, folks. We can't take them.
To turn them away and say there's no way you can ever get here would play right into the terrorist hands.
The war of words over Syrian refugees turns into a debate over American values. When it comes to America taking in refugees from conflict-torn countries, that debate is decades old.
The United States did take more Jewish refugees from Europe than any other country in the world between 1933 and 1945 when the Nazis were in power. Roosevelt would have liked to take in more, but he felt his hands were tied because Congress was not going to increase the quota.
Last week, the House passed more stringent vetting procedures, which could halt the flow of Syrian refugees into the U.S. Earlier this year, President Obama had pledged to increase that number. There are also calls like these from the GOP presidential frontrunners.
I want everybody to have a database.
I want surveillance of certain mosques, okay?
Those calls compared to the slippery slope that has led to some of the most shameful moments in American history, like the imprisonment of thousands of Japanese Americans after the attack on Pearl Harbor.
Abraham Lincoln, considered one of this nation's greatest presidents, denied suspected Confederate collaborators their day in court. It's a dark legacy some Americans visiting his memorial hope won't be repeated.
I would be horrified if we had to get to that.
We just hope that they'll make the best decisions to keep us safe.
We have a national identity which is based on rights and democratic principles that are written in the Constitution. When we feel insecure, historically, we've been very quick to jettison those principles. It didn't help our security. In some cases, it hurt it. And that's the kind of lesson that we should learn from history.
In Washington, I'm Christine Frizzell reporting.
Now, the fight over the relocation of Syrian refugees continues in Congress. A bill calling for stricter screening heads to the Senate next week. Democrats are vowing to block that bill from reaching the floor. Right now, tensions between Turkey and Russia are increasing again after Turkey took down a Russian warplane. The Turkish president wants to meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin next week in Paris. Russia says Turkey crossed a line when it shot down their jet. Putin is suspending its visa-free program with Turkey on January 1st. With this tension, it will be difficult to get Russia to join the fight against ISIS. New technology helps those without sight appreciate works of art. Plus, champions from all around the world show off their stuff pole dancing, some older than 65.
And I am tracking showers out to our west here, and you can see them working off to the east. When will they move in exactly, and how long do they stick around? I'll show you in your Skywatch 17 forecast.
The Dixon City Council's decision to euthanize geese at Luther Lake is ruffling some feathers. The move comes after local homeowners presented them with a petition about goose waste and health concerns. They say this small lake is overpopulated with geese and they're leaving behind a very big mess. The city brought in the United States Department of Agriculture, who made the decision to euthanize them. Earlier today, we talked with people who think there's got to be a better way.
You know, they can get rid of them, but the geese are just going to keep coming back. You know, there's water, there's food. It's peaceful down here. They're going to find their way back, and they'll start over again.
The city says the USDA is scheduled to start this agreement in May. A health alert tonight. Researchers say high-potency marijuana can lead to neural damage. They scanned the brains of drug users and found smokers had smaller amounts of white brain matter inside a neural pathway connecting the left and right halves of the brain. Researchers say healthcare workers need to pay more attention to the type of marijuana patients are using. New tonight, Goodwill gives one Clarksville veteran a new start and the opportunity to make a difference. After Ernest Stovall completed 18 years in the military, the Veterans Administration offered him the chance to enter Goodwill's Transitional Employment Services program. Several years later, he now is the lead attendant in the Donations Express Center at a Clarksville Goodwill. Stovall says Goodwill gave him the opportunity to exercise the leadership skills he learned in the military. New technology is helping the blind experience some of the world's most famous paintings. Using 3D photo works, the blind can actually feel the braids on the painting of the Mona Lisa. It's an emotional experience for those who have had to rely on descriptions of art and pictures. Trending now, get this, dancers are showing off their moves for the pole dancing championship in China. This year, the competition is expanding, adding a new category for women in their 50s and older. The current champion is a 65-year-old from California and an Australian competitor with one arm taking part in the disabled category.
It's immensely difficult to keep going sometimes, but you have to use your challenges as thrusting blocks, and you have to find out, okay, what will my body do?
Competitors from countries around the world are battling it out for 11 world titles in the pole dancing championships.
All right, well, if you are walking outside this evening, it's comfortable. The temperature is at 64, the wind is out of the southeast at 7, and our humidity is actually comfortable as well. It's at 63%. But you might want to have an umbrella. We do have some showers out to our west here. You can see this is where we have the Tennessee River, and just to the west is where we're seeing the bulk of the rain. Notice it's nothing big. We do have some moderate rain in Arkansas and Missouri. This will eventually shift eastward through the overnight into our Saturday. So tracking what will happen, you can see here moving future track into our Saturday morning, the bulk of it still staying to our west. Can't rule out a couple of sprinkles across parts of the mid-state as we start the day, but the slightly more consistent rains will be farther out to our west. From 6 in the morning here, moving toward lunchtime, we'll continue to see those showers work their way off to the east-northeast here, but again at a very slow pace. So if you're going to be out and about, just be advised you're going to need a raincoat or an umbrella. It's not going to be a sloppy, soggy mess all day long, but you can definitely see future track is picking up on a good opportunity of rain throughout the day here. Even as we head into our Saturday evening, this is when I anticipate the better chance for wet weather to move in. You can see all of Middle Tennessee seeing those showers, and then we'll kind of see a lull during the middle part of Sunday, and then another batch of rain rolls in Sunday into Monday, and then again Monday into Tuesday. So temperature-wise for our Saturday, we start off in the middle, some of us even upper 50s here. As we head to lunchtime, we'll move up to 65, and that's where we should top out for the day. We'll hover in the mid-60s through 3 o'clock, and then we'll cool it off to 62 here at 8. Here's a look at the Skywatch 7-day, and we will top out at 64 our Sunday. If you're headed to the Titans game and you want to do some early morning tailgating, just be prepared for some showers around. So it's not going to be the most perfect day for the game. But I believe we might start off with a few showers at kickoff. But for the middle part of the day, we actually should see kind of a lull in the action before those showers ramp up again for our Sunday evening into Monday. Now, Monday, 60% chance of rain. The high there, thanks to a southerly push, will be around 63. Then the cold front swings through on Tuesday. So we have an 80% chance of rain there. The high starts to come down into the upper 50s. Wednesday and Thursday will be the coolest days, but actually pretty typical for this time of year, with lows in the mid-30s and highs in the low 50s.
All right, many families are decorating the tree after Thanksgiving, and the 18.5-foot tall Christmas tree arrived at the White House today. First Lady Lou Henry Hoover started the tradition of decorating the tree back in 1929. Since then, the honor of trimming the Christmas tree belongs to the First Ladies. It's state semifinal time. 9 mid-state schools, including Pearl Cone, looking to book spots in the championship games. The Fox 17 sports crew has all the action next.
Take Fox 17 News with you by signing up for text alerts. Just text news, weather, traffic, or sports to 45203. Get alerts for as many categories as you want. It's Fox 17 News on the go. Brought to you by Nissan of Cool Springs.
What a night. The state semifinals in the high school football playoffs. Let's start out east with Class 6A. Oakland against mighty Maryville. The Rebels' last loss coming in the 2012 championship game. Maryville winners of 43 games in a row, and the Rebels would open the scoring tonight. Dylan Hopkins doing the honors, ripping off a 46-yard touchdown run, even running uphill it looks like. Maryville ahead 7-0 at that point. But Oakland has an answer. Brendan Matthews to Zarius Gamble. This is a 79-yard touchdown strike. The Pats battling it out tonight with the Rebs, but Maryville just had too much for Oakland to handle. Hopkins with the keeper for another TD on the ground as Maryville wins it 27-13 and advances to the 6A title game. The other 6A semi, Will Hester and the Ravenwood Raptors against Whitehaven tonight. Ravenwood up 3-0 in the first quarter, 4th and goal, but the Ravenwood defense comes up with the goal line stand. They're pumped about it. Second quarter, after a Whitehaven touchdown, 4th and 10, Tigers quarterback Darian Cole scrambling, tossing across the field to Killen Watkins, and he has some moves. Watkins taking it all the way to the end zones. He slips free in. Whitehaven tacks on the extra point and led it 13-3. The Raptors needing to make something happen, and this is how you do it. On the ensuing kickoff, Chris Rowland has it, and he has a seam. Rowland taking it all the way for the touchdown, and Ravenwood is heading back to the title game. The Raptors winning it 20-13. Centennial at Independence in one of the 5A semis. The visiting Cougars trailing in the first quarter until Tristan Pisacani connects with Rashawn McLemore for a 35-yard touchdown strike. Centennial taking the lead 9-6. Independence, though, with one of the most powerful offenses in the state. Andrew Bunch finding Nate Johnson for the short TD toss. We saw a bunch to Johnson this evening. Case in point, second quarter. The Bunch pump fake doing the job. Cougars falling for it, and Johnson is open downfield for another scoring strike. The Eagles leading 35-9 in intermission. They're heading to their 14th straight win with a 56-15 win over Centennial. Sevier County awaits in the title game. The Pearl Cone Firebirds looking to advance to the Class 4A title contest for the first time since 1997. Maurice Fitzgerald was their head coach then. He's on hand tonight to see how they did against Memphis East. The answer, coach, very well. First quarter, they give to Kewan Vaughn, number 6, heading towards 6. Vaughn with a sweet touchdown run. Firebirds are on the board first, 6-0. Then their special teams making a play on the punt. Tedrick McGee fielding for the Mustangs. Justin Brewington stripping the football for the Firebirds. Nanoxie Hancock recovering. You think Brewington's pumped? Yeah, he should be. That leading to this. Kewan Vaughn doing the honors again. Shorter scoring run this time. 14-zip Firebirds at that point, and they weren't done in the opening quarter. Jimmy Farrell to the air finds Rontavius Groves open in the end zone. Firebirds leading 27-0 after one, and they go on to beat Memphis East 27-14. Next up, Knoxville Catholic in the finals. Now let's head to the Lions' Den as the defending 3A champs are once again in the Final Four. CPA hosting Liberty Magnet, and the special teams for the Lions making a play. Wallace Barrett back to field it, heading to his left. Still hasn't cut up field. He's doing a lot of running, but he finally finds the corner, and then Wallace Barrett, eluding defenders, finally finds open space and cuts back for the 64-yard return. That makes it 14-0 CPA. Third quarter, CPA D making some plays. That poor Tech quarterback flinging it in the air, and prayer not answered. Instead, it's intercepted by Jacob Webster, number 21 with the pick and the nice return deep into Liberty Magnet territory. 2 plays later, Chip Omer icing it, 16-yard TD run for number 45. 21-0 CPA wins and advances to the championship game once again, where the Lions will face Alcoa. One more stop in Bellevue as Peabody visits Nashville Christian in the single A semis. What a year for Jeff Brothers' team. There's Blake Barfield going in from short yardage, 14-7, NCS at that point. Next possession, NCS back at it again. Daniel Batuli, he's headed to Knoxville next year, and you can see why Big Orange fans are so excited. He's a beast as he rumbles 45 yards for the touchdown. Future Vol looking good, as were the NCS Eagles. Kyle Tidwell then rolling to his right, and guess who's wide open? Yep, Batuli falling into the end zone for another score. Congratulations, 35-7, or check that, 42-7. NCS is a winner tonight. The Eagles will take on Greenback in the Class 1A championship Once again, congratulations to Jeff Brothers and Company and all the winners tonight. Up next, the Predators skating in the city of brotherly love as they wrap up their 5-game road trip. Back with hockey, a matinee for the Nashville Predators as they close out their 5-game road trip in Philadelphia against the Flyers. Philip Forsberg getting the Preds on the board first, taking the feed and lighting the lamp in the first period. It's a 1-0 Preds advantage. Move ahead to late in the third. Preds trailing 2-1. They pull Pecorine for the extra skater, and it pays off. Under 30 seconds to go, Mike Fisher poking the puck into the Flyers net. That ties the game at 2 with only 20 seconds left. In overtime, the Preds are whistled for too many men on the ice. That gives the Flyers a 4-on-3 advantage. Shane Gostisbehere fires it past Rene, and that's it. The Flyers handing the Preds a disappointing 3-2 loss in overtime. Preds back at home tomorrow night against the Sabres. Tough night for the Tennessee Vols. They lose to George Washington 73-70. I'm out of here. That's it. I got nothing else.
I feel you. All right, well, anyone's going to be out for tomorrow, maybe headed to the Preds game. You might need an umbrella walking into Bridgestone. We've got some showers around. We're looking at a high of 65, so still mild. When you put things into perspective, average lows are in the mid-30s, average highs are in the mid-50s. So we're going to stay above that on both sides through Monday, unfortunately, with good chances of rain through Tuesday. The cold front comes through late Tuesday, and then highs fall, and it'll feel a little cool considering where we've been, but that'll be normal.
Get those umbrellas ready. Thank
Yes.
you, Brock. And thank you so much for joining us for Fox 17 News at 10. We'll see you back here tomorrow night.